Everybody, we got junior safety Delarrin Turner-Yell. We'll begin with Eric Bailey with the Tulsa World, and then we'll go to Ryan Aber.
Hey, Delarrin. For a team that really is craving takeaways, and we were just told 26 for the season, what did it mean to you to get your first career interception and then also the first one for the defense this season?
Right. I mean, it was a huge honor for me to be able to do that. Like you just said, we're trying to get to 26. So as of right now, it's a race to 26. We're trying to average 2 or more a game. So for me to get my first career interception, I mean, that was huge, and it was really a surreal moment. And like I said, it's a race to 26. So as fast as we can get there, we got to just stay on it and continue to get them week in and week out.
Thank you.
Okay, Ryan Aber with the Oklahoman, and then Kerry Murdoch.
Yeah, Delarrin, going back and watching the film of the game the other night, obviously the numbers were impressive, the shutout, everything like that, but what did you take away from it? What did you feel like the defense did really well, and what are some areas that you feel like can improve here moving forward?
Right. A new defense, from last year, new guys on the field. So I was just excited to see us, be able to go against someone else in like a live situation. And, guys got after it. Guys were flying around. Guys were dying to make plays. And so, the things I say that we could improve on is like communication, getting lined up quicker, getting a call, and, just continuing to play fast and just go out there and make plays as a defense.
Appreciate it, Delarrin.
Kerry Murdoch with Sooner Scoop and the Sports Animal, and then Jason Kersey.
Hey, Delarrin. Year 2 under Alex, how have things changed just in terms of, I don't know, your communication with everybody, the ease maybe that you guys feel, just kind of the chemistry there, that kind of, you notice that on a daily basis in practice that just kind of makes things easier for everybody?
Yeah, because, our defense is not really young at all. I mean, we have some new guys in, but, the game has slowed down like a lot for the guys that are out there. So as far as us communicating and things like that, like our defense hasn't changed. So, with us getting the call, we don't change much as a defense. So, all that is easy. We're getting lined up. That comes in with him saying we can't be the same guys as last year because the defense hasn't changed or anything like that. So, I mean, we already know the calls. We know everything that we need to know as far as, like, getting lined up and things like that. Now it just boils down to us making plays.
I know, like, last year it was such a big deal was made out of, like, the wristbands and how easy it was to get plays in and out. Is that still the same, or you try and, I don't know, build on that? Does Alex kind of add to that, or is it just all kind of the same as it has always been?
It's kind of the same as last year. Like I said, the defense doesn't change at all. We might throw a little wrinkle in here and there, but as changing the entire defense, no, we don't do that. So, I mean, the wristbands, they're a huge deal. You're able to look down and get the call and things like that. So, yeah, that's pretty easy, and I feel like it helps our defense a lot.
Appreciate that, Delarrin.
Yes, sir.
Jason Kersey with The Athletic, and then Caleb McCory.
Hey, Delarrin, I'm just curious, after all that you kind of went through from December, being injured, having to miss the Peach Bowl, and then the pandemic probably, affected your recovery a little bit, or at least it made it more difficult. I'm just wondering if it meant a lot for you to be able to go out and you guys pitch a shutout, you have an interception after kind of all you went through in the offseason.
Right. I mean, with me going through that injury, I mean, it allowed me to get closer to God. And he just constantly reminded me that he had everything in store for me. Anything that he promises, he's going to reveal it to you and things like that. And so it just allowed me to stay positive through it all, knowing that I was going to eventually come out of it and be able to get back on the field with my team. That's always a huge honor to be able to take the field with my team. But like you said, with the things that I went through and things like that, it felt really good to come out and pitch a shutout, get back with the boys, and also be able to make a huge play for the defense.
Thanks, man.
Okay, we'll go to Caleb McCory with the OU Daily, and then Joe Bettner.
Delarrin, last year in Alex's first season, his big thing was the number 29, 2018's a national pass defense ranking. He even incorporated it. He said he incorporated it in your workout count as well, in your workout rep count. And I was wondering, is there something from last year that Alex really wasn't happy about that he really wants you guys to remember for this season?
Mainly the things that he wants us to remember from last year's, takeaways. I mean, we were big on takeaways last year, and we only ended up with 11. And at the University of Oklahoma as a defense, I mean, that is unacceptable because, we play for the big games. We're in the college football playoff. We're in the Big 12 championship every year. And, I mean, we can make those games a lot easier if we just get the ball back to our offense a little bit more because we have a high-powered offense. So in order for us to get where we need to go, we need to get the ball back. So the thing that we've been talking about a lot is that race to 26 because that just gets us in the conversation. But we need to go past that. So, yeah, the takeaways have been a big emphasis, leading up into the season.
Joe Bettner with the Norman Transcript, and then Brandon Drum.
Delarrin, if my math checks out, 26, and if you're doing 2 per game would put you in the national title game if that is the average. I'm wondering how much you guys talk about, getting back to the playoff, getting back to the national championship in such a uncertain season where, it seems like, games aren't always guaranteed, but how much do you guys talk about national championship and that stuff?
I mean, since we got back from that LSU game, national championship has been a talk around here ever since that game. Because at Oklahoma, you come here to win championships, and we can't settle for anything less than that. So we have to constantly remind ourselves that we need to get that takeaway count. And even Coach Grinch, told the offense before the game that they need to hold us accountable for us for us to be able to get the ball back to them. And like you said, I mean, like I said, national championship will always be the talk around here because you come here to win championships, and it'll make it a lot easier if you're able to get the ball back.
With COVID and everything, have you been able to focus on football? I mean, has that been a struggle at all? Just focusing purely on football?
I mean, this whole COVID situation, it's kind of tough, and the main thing that we do, we try to stay away from everyone. You have to constantly remind ourselves that we can't do the things that normal students or normal people are out there doing. Like we can't go sit out and eat or go party or anything like that because, that COVID is all around out there. And so we just try to stay away from that. And if we're able to do that, then it's much easier for us to be able to focus on football.
Thank you.
Brandon Drum with OU Insider, and then Parker Thune.
Yeah, DTY, you talked about championship mentality at Oklahoma, and you brought up the LSU game last year. How did that affect you all going into the offseason? You all had a lot of ups and downs. You were injured, just a lot of issues leading up into that game. But after the game, was there a sense of, with the guys returning, of just a togetherness, how you guys came about, talked? And also, did this defense, with you out there being a leader, some of the young guys that came in there, how is the communication between you guys?
Between me and the young guys?
Yeah.
You just have to create a relationship with those guys, and you have to let them know that it's not like a bully type of thing, but it's a big bro, big brother type of thing. We're gonna when they come in, we have to reassure them that we're gonna show them the way of how it's done right. We played in the big games, we've been in the big games, and that's something that they haven't seen yet. So we have to continue to remind them of what it takes to get there and what it's like when we're actually there. And so, the young guys, they listen to us, things like that, follow our lead. So the communication between me and the young guys is really good.
And last year, the LSU game, after all that, the guys returning, was there a meeting? Was there talk of, obviously there was injuries, other issues that compounded with all that, but was there talk of, especially with somebody like you being a leader, did you all get together, talk about this coming season, championships and all that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing that we focused on was not being the same guys as we were last year. Because playing that LSU team, I mean, we obviously saw, what it took in order for them to get to the national championship and actually win it. And so we constantly stayed on each other, even with us being back at home with the pandemic, we sent videos to each other, of us working out and things like that and just getting better at our craft, because we were big on not being the same guys as last year, because the guys that we had last year obviously didn't get the job done. So, we were trying to get over that hump. And so we were thinking, like, how could we get over the hump and things like that? And the biggest way to get over the hump, or the easiest way to get over the hump, is to come back a better player than you were a year before. And, that came back to, make for the D-line, making a play through your gap. Also the linebackers making a play through your gap, where if you're dropping, get the ball. And also the back end, working ball drills, working footwork drills, watching film, studying your opponent, so we're able to play faster as a whole.
Okay, last question will go to Parker Thune with SI Sooners.
Hey, Delarrin, thanks for your time. I'm curious, in the back end of that secondary, you play opposite Pat Fields, who was named the defensive team captain last week. Can you speak a little bit to the leadership that Pat brings both to the gridiron and to the locker room?
Right. Pat's the type of guy, he's going to lead by example. I mean, he's going to lead on and off the field, in the classroom, anytime you see Pat, he's a guy that's always he's going to be doing right regardless. And, you as a young guy coming in, or even an older guy that doesn't really have that leadership type of mentality or that leadership role, you just automatically, kind of follow him and fall in line behind him. And that's the type of guy that you want to lead your team, that everyone on the team can relate to Pat and Pat can relate to them. And so, like I said, he's a guy that's going to lead by example day in and day out, and you can always count on him to do the right things.
Thanks, Delarrin.
Yes, sir.